Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be giving you a brief overview and review of Wyrmspan, the latest game from Stonemaier Games. So you're playing a dracologist, and you will be excavating caves, enticing dragons, and exploring caves in order to gain more resources, points, in-game points. Hopefully helps you complete some of the public objectives. And some of them will help you move forward on the Dragon Guild board. All of that gains you additional resources and points and other benefits. So to start the game, each player gets 6 coins and any egg of their choice. All the colors represent the same thing. There's no difference. It's just your choice of preference of color. And you would just put that right here on your, where you can store your eggs. If you don't have any dragons on the board, the only storage for eggs you have are these 2 slots. So you want to put dragons down so you can accumulate eggs in this game, because just like with Wyrmspan, if you played it, once you get over to these 2 columns, it costs you additional eggs to excavate a cave. You don't have to play an egg there. Say you have a cave here, and you can see it says 1 egg to excavate. Once you've played that egg to do that, when you entice a dragon and put them on there, it doesn't cost you an egg. It just costs the normal cost of 1 coin plus whatever the cost is printed on the top of each dragon. Each dragon is when you entice them. So the cave cards you put in the leftmost space. These are already filled in for you, so you would start right here. And you're going to excavate a cave on the leftmost space of whichever row you want to put it in. They do not have to go in any certain place. You can put them anywhere. Dragons, however, when you entice them, there has to be an excavated cave first. Then you have to place them where they are able to go. So this one only goes in Amethyst Abyss. This one can go in any of the caves because it's got all 3 colors here on the little tabs. And this one can only go in one of the bottom 2. So you do have to pay attention to that. Each time you excavate, it will cost you 1 coin plus if you're over here an egg. This column here doesn't cost anything but 1 coin to excavate. When you entice a dragon, like I said, it costs 1 coin plus whatever cost they have up there, and then you would place them on the leftmost column of your board, starting with the ones that are pre-printed. And to explore, that costs, the first time you do it, costs 1 coin. So you take your little adventurer, put him over here on the first space, and here you gain any resource. So I would get any one, I'll just take the gold. Then if this had the little adventurer token, you could do something on this card. It does not. However, if I had another one right here that did, I'll show you what that does. So then you go to the next adventurer token. This one has a little dragon and a shield. So that means you get to move your dragon or your shield 1 space on the Dragon Guild, and you get whatever benefit it gives you. Each of these have a different benefit you gain. Then you go to the next card. So this one, you pay 1 egg from anywhere in this cave to gain 2 different benefits. So if you pay an egg, you would get either a card, a dragon card, get to move up on the Dragon Guild. You get a cave card, or no, actually you get, not cave card, you get emerald or any resource, and you get to choose 2 of those.
No, that is a cave card.
Is that the cave card?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was, but it was messing with me. And then you would keep going here. That's any resource. And then you see there's a stop sign, meaning that's not been covered up by a dragon yet. So you just put your adventure back in base camp and you're done. So you could see why you would want to build up your caves and your dragons as much as you can, because when you do that explore action, you're going to get a lot more. If you want to do the explore action again, that cost, each of those are printed at the beginning of each cave. The second time is 1 egg and a coin. Third time is 2 eggs and a coin. So you could see how those eggs could be very beneficial in helping you gain quickly with the resources. Again, just like in Wyrmspan, there's eggs printed on the dragon cards. That's your max eggs that you can store on that card. Each dragon has their own abilities. Some are, like this one has the adventurer. That's only triggers when the adventurer lands on it. This one right here is once per round. And then there's also in-game, which has a little flag. There's one right there. And there's a when played, which has just cards. Let me see if I can find one really quick. There we go. And that's the when played. So this game is very good at letting you know when things trigger, so there's no question about it. So you're going to keep going until in the round until everyone passes. You do not have to use all 6 coins. Any coins that you have left at the end of one round rolls over to the next round, and you'll have more coins to use in that round. You do have to, at the end of the round, any coins and things that you've spent and eggs go back to the supply, and at the beginning of each round, you get 6 new coins and 1 egg. So if you kept some coins past and didn't do all the 6 actions, you would then have 8 coins. But do remember, at the end of your turn, you have to discard down to 9 cards, and that includes both your cave and your dragon cards together. You can only have 9 total, 9 coins or 9 resources. So you don't want to stockpile too much. Plus, you wouldn't advance too much in the game if you kept holding coins over each round. Unless there was something really, you knew, some like OP move you were going to do and you needed more actions. That's really the only time it would be worth it. The round tracker here, you just move it in each round and it kind of reminds you each time what you're going to do. You have your public objectives. You use these these cubes are to place on the objective board and on the Dragon Guild tile. There's several ones you can choose from, the different guilds, and they are 2-sided. I don't know if they're different, but they're they're one's for 2 to 3 player, the other one's for 4 to 5 player. So you will be using these to place here and hopefully here. This is you can only place your cubes here when you get to this brown square here and then all the way back around. The max you can have is 4 on here, so you would have to do this twice to do it. And then of course you have 1 on each of these public objectives. If anyone ties, they both get the same reward. It's a friendly tie. So for instance, and there's these are 2-sided, these objectives, and there's several in the box. You just randomly choose them. But dragons with the adventure icon on your player mat. So if you have quite a bit of these dragons with that adventure icon, if you have the most, you're going to get 4 points that round and get to put your cube. If you didn't get any, then unfortunately you're going to have to go all others right here because you didn't score. You have to have at least 1 to score something to get the second place. Then this one's like medium dragons on your player mat. So their sizes are right here: small, medium, there's large. Of course, the bigger they are, the more it's going to cost to put them out there. Hatchlings on your player mat. Hatchlings are really great. They don't...
For me, I think they're probably the most...
Let me find a hatchling.
OP, because of the... you passed several. One? You passed several.
Did I?
Is that a hatchling?
Oh, While you're talking, I'll find one.
Yeah, but that's what pretty much allowed me to do many different things. You know what I mean? Look, she's not good at scanning.
No, I'm not.
Right, you missed one right there.
Okay, there we go. The hatchlings, they do not store eggs. That's the main difference between them. They do cost milk and eggs mostly, I think, don't they? Yeah, they cost milk. They all cost the same, 2 milks and an egg, because they're babies. But they do have really great abilities. We've noticed that it kind of makes up for them not storing eggs. For instance, this one is cache milk from your supply here. Anytime you cache milk here, you gain a meat. When the third milk is cached, you also gain a coin. So all of them are very similar. You are caching food or resources here. And then anytime you do it, you also gain something. It's like it gives you something when you cache food there, and you're going to get points at the end of the game for cached things on your cards. But when you have your third item cached on this card, you get an extra coin. You can use it that turn or, hoard it for the next one, but it gives you an extra action. It's a temporary, it's not a permanent coin. It's like a one-time extra coin. But those hatchlings are really good, even though they don't seem to be, because they don't store the eggs and they're not worth a lot of points, but in this one, they would actually help you out, because if you have the most of them, you're going to get 6 points. Cave cards on your player mat include those covered by dragons. So the more cave cards you have that you've placed down, the higher chance you're going to get that 7 points. And then as you can see on the Dragon Guild, you get different resources, eggs, dragon cards, a coin. So there's lots of ways in this game to gain the resources.
And coins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a very strategic game where you are just trying to, because you only get, so many actions. You get 6 actions over 4 rounds. So you're getting 24 actions basically to try to get the most points and get as many resources and build this out as you can. Of course, you might get a few extra when you gain those coins. But other thing I need to mention, when you get to the end here, if you filled up a whole row, this allows you to do some special moves. This one, cache up to 2 resources from your supply onto any of your dragons with that adventure icon. Tuck up to 2 dragons from your hand under any dragons with that's the adventure that it goes to, sorry. But onto any of your dragons. This one is tuck up to 2 dragons from your hand under any dragon. So those tucking and caching, as you know, get points at the end of the game. So once everyone is played, we went all 4 rounds, then you're going to do your in-game scoring, and that's where you, wherever your marker is, on the markers here for the in-game, you get the points for that. Not all those are in-game. The bottom 2 are in-game, and these are resources and things you can get right away if you prefer. The printed values on your dragons. Then if your dragons have any in-game abilities with the little flag, eggs are 1 point each. 1 per cached resource on your card. Public objectives, you add those up. And then you also get, if you have coins, and for every 4 resources, 1 point per coin and 1 point for every resource you have left. So that scoring is very similar to Wyrmspan, almost identical, isn't it?
Also the end game thing. Remember Wyrmspan also has it too?
Oh yeah, so they are a lot of similarities between this and Wyrmspan, but it's very different at the same time. It's more difficult to get resources in this game, I think, than Wyrmspan.
I didn't have issues.
The reason is Wyrmspan has it on here where you can get it every time. But remember, you have to spend coins.
Yeah, but I got resources from here.
Yeah,
he
had a different strategy, and he had an easier time getting resources.
Well, mine was mostly my hatchling. Wow, it was.
Yeah.
The hatchling I got was OP. It
was.
It did so much. So. Yeah,
so he was literally lapping me on the Dragon Guild board. I moved really slow. I struggled getting resources, whereas in Wyrmspan, it is easy to get the resources, but here you have to. It's a little bit more strategic because you have to make sure you have enough coins that I'm dropping on the ground. You got to make sure you have enough coins to do the actions you want to do. And if you want to explore, which does gain you the most things, you need eggs. And if you do it 3 times, you've already used up half your actions and most likely all your eggs. So yeah, it's a very strategic as far as resource management. even though it seems very similar to Wingspan, it's very different in a lot of ways, I think, the mechanics. So what did you think of it?
I really like the components, illustration, the font's easy to read. So I love dragons. I have two dragon tattoos, so I'm quite fond of dragons. So I really like the theme for the game. So replayability, high replayability, just like Wingspan. And I expect this to also to come out with expansions. I think a lot of people like this one a little bit more because this has more of a complete feel to it for the actual base game because of the Dragon Guild and just the amount of things you could do. So, and there's so many different cards and also the objectives and the Dragon Guild. There's different ones you could choose from. So high replayability. Also, it didn't take that long to pretty much set up. Probably took like 7 to 10 minutes. Teardown is a lot faster, probably like 3 to 5. So mechanics, I don't know if I like this one as much as Wingspan. It might be the same amount. The mechanics are very kind of similar, but there are different aspects to it. Of course, we have all the expansions to Wingspan, so we're looking at that through that perspective as opposed to base game versus base game. So for us, for me, it does have a lot of the same feeling, just different theme. Of course, with the caves are different and everything. And as expansions come out, they will probably feel a little more different than the Wingspan as they add different components and different mechanics to it. So for me, the mechanics I really enjoy. I like the point salad. I like the Dragon Guild. The Dragon Guild, I remember my hashland was OP for the simple fact that every time I put a dragon, it allowed me to move in the Dragon Guild track. And so I just kept moving and moving and moving. And so it was a very great little dragon. And then the round tracker, I was paying attention to the whole time. And I think that's where I scored a lot of my points over Amanda because I was getting the medium dragon, the hatchlands, the K cards. I was always one over her in the amount I had, and so she always placed second. So I scored a lot of points in that aspect. Also, I was also lucky in the dragons and K cards that came out that allowed me to get eggs and then just combo. There's so many ways to combo this game that. I do think that there is a way to, just totally dominate over your opponents if you do it right, and especially if they're not paying attention to a lot of the combination cards that you could do. So overall total, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I really do think that this is a great game, and I think it might go up as time goes on. We play it more, we find more strategy, and we pretty much, especially when expansions come out, because that does make the game a lot different. It also introduces more mechanics and just, we love expansions. We have all the Wingspan ones. We have all the Quedlinburg. We like getting all the expansions to games that we enjoy. And I think that this is going to be one of the ones we will probably get to. And great game, highly recommend.
Yes, I really enjoyed this game. I will say at first it was a little bit of a struggle, and for me, for some reason, I could not grasp the coins that you don't have to do the extra of it. I think I had that confused for at least 2 rounds until.
Well, I think it's because we played Wingspan so many times.
Right.
She was accustomed to the Wingspan mechanics that she kept going back to it.
Right, but once I let that go and was playing it correctly, it's a lot of fun. It is very strategic because you've got many more components, like with the Dragon Guild, things like that, to rack up more points and resources. So and you're got this objective you're going for. You really honestly have both this and this that you really need to focus on, because if your opponent gets their cubes on these and you don't, you pretty much lost the game. And definitely this is what made or break art. He beat me by 9 points, and it was basically this is what helped him win, getting those public objectives. But see, I was struggling. He had that hatchling, the OP hatchling. He literally lapped me twice on this board. And so it was kind of, that is, to me, well, I didn't focus on the hatchlings. I think I only had one hatchling on my board.
Yeah.
But that is a little unbalanced in my opinion. That part is a little unbalanced. But maybe once everyone knows about the hatchlings, like if I figured that out quicker, it would have been a different game.
Well, it's kind of deceiving because the hatchlings at first you're thinking
they look lame.
Well, yeah, well, not
like,
yeah, because knowing that you have to use different resources, but then also a lot of the objectives don't pertain to the hatchling, just that one, and so you're looking at the hatchling, you're like, well,
and they don't store eggs.
Yeah, and they don't store eggs, so you're looking at it, but then I think the problem was I read the hatchlings and I kept collecting the hatchlings and placing them because I noticed that they had like 3 things as opposed to one. Where she looked at the hatchling.
I was focusing on the explore, which used a lot of my resources. Yeah, I kept doing that every time. 3 explore actions.
Yep, and so that's why I think I won, is because I saw the hatchling and the benefits they had, as opposed to the regular dragons before she did.
Yeah, I really struggled with my resources. If I had more hatchlings on my board, I would have definitely been able to stretch my resources further.
Yeah, I would say you're going to want probably 2 or 3 hatchlings on the board.
I think I only had 1.
Yeah.
Because I looked at them and they didn't store eggs, and I saw you need a lot of eggs to see. My brain was on you need to explore a lot to get all these resources, so eggs are very important. And so to me they seemed not like they wouldn't help at all, because they're not going to store me some eggs. But once I did use mine and realized, I gained that coin, but then so it was, I think you can only do that one time, because it said when the 3rd one is, but you always get the resource.
Yeah, the first 2.
But you have to cache a resource. So it's kind of like a resource trade. But see, what made his better was it let him move on that dragon thing a lot. So that one is the one that's OP, in my opinion. The ones where you're trading resource for resource.
I think mine was you could move on this is why I was OP. Move on the dragon thing, and then once you have I think it was 3 resources, you get extra coin, which allows for extra turn or extra placement.
So all the hatchlings are similar in that way, but his allowed him to do the Dragon Guild, which was to me very OP.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really fun game. I would give this a 9. I mean, I know I do want to play it again already. I'm so happy we got this, and I'm excited to play it again when we get a chance. It is a little long. I mean, probably like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So you need to have at least, hour and 15 minutes to set it up and play it when you want to play it. But it's a very strategic game. That's what makes, I feel it is a little bit more strategic than Wyrmspan.
Oh, yeah.
Because of you do have to, I know you have to manage your resources on Wyrmspan, but it feels a lot easier to get resources in that game than in this game.
Well, yeah, it kind of feels like it plays itself at a certain point once you have enough birds.
Right.
Whereas this one, you have to manage it.
Right.
And figure out how to get the resources more.
Exactly. So that's what makes this game different, and that's what makes this game a lot of fun. And we still love Wyrmspan, don't get me wrong. That's Quentin's favorite game by far. And so, but I am glad they came out with this. It's similar, but just different enough to where it's kind of, in my opinion, it's takes it up another level.
Oh, yeah.
because of that strategy with the resource management. But did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this helped you to decide whether this is something you want to add to your collection. As always, we'll put the link in the description so you could check it out for yourself. I would highly recommend this game.
Me too.
If you like Wyrmspan, definitely need to check this out. If you don't like Wyrmspan, you might still want to check it out because it's different enough to where it's not Wyrmspan. So it's more, in our opinion, more strategic. So if that was your beef with Wyrmspan, maybe you might like Wyrmspan. Please feel free to leave a comment or question. Give this video a like. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being a fan. If you're not subscribed, we hope you will. And click that little bell so you can get notified when we put out new content. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next time.